Hi there, my name is Kovu Kingsred, and today I'm going to talk about something that I've definitely never talked about before. No, no, I feel like I don't talk about, I talk around it a lot. Like, I discuss things regarding it and regarding my relationship to it, but I don't really go that much in depth, if that makes sense. I kind of walk around the porridge. Is that a saying? Am I totally off track here? I might very well be. So English is not my first language. Just let you know. No, but I'm going to talk about gender. Surprise. And it's a topic that I'm kind of sick of talking about it. And I know I'm the one talking about this now. Uh, I don't have to talk about this, but I don't know, it's a very interesting topic, in general, gender in your brain, scientific explanations for transgenderism, and also just the social aspects of gender and cultural views and perceptions of what gender is and stuff like that. It's very interesting, but I've talked about so much and I see it everywhere now because of algorithms and stuff like that. So online. So now I'm getting sick of it. But anyway, we're gonna talk about this because it's still interesting. Um, so something that a lot of people say is that when they go on testosterone, which I am on now, currently I'm 3 weeks on it today. Mini applause. Uh, a lot of people say that how they feel about the gender changes. Um, and this is not the case for everyone, I'm sure, but I've heard that some people just feel or identify more with masculine things than they did pre testosterone. And I think that's very interesting, and I'm curious to how that may potentially change for me. So I just want to document how I feel right now. This is not something that I talk about a lot. Again, going in depth. I guess I used to, but now I just kind of don't because I just feel like it's unnecessary and I don't want to cause any. I don't know. But I'm just gonna do it. So, um, when I first figured out that there was something kind of off about my gender. This was when I was 13 or something. Um, which was I was in a really really dark place, and then I found out that I was bisexual, and that kind of got me into the LGBTQ plus community. And then I made some friends, and I heard about trans people, which I had heard about before, but I'd watched this TV show about it, but it always seemed so far away and distant. I always thought it was a very interesting topic. I always thought it was so interesting, but I it felt so far away. I don't know how to explain this in a way that it makes sense, but it felt like I saw people on TV, but they weren't real people. You know how you see celebrities on TV, but and then you're just oh, they're actual real people. That's kind of how I felt regarding it. But I made some friends in the LGBTQ plus community, and I discovered oh wow, these are actual like people my age and living their lives as normal. They're not just some people on TV, documentary. Um, and then I cut my hair short, or to yeah, it was short, and uh, I started presenting more masculine, and I found a label which I liked online, which was gender fluid, which you probably know what it means, but it's uh, sometimes you feel masculine and sometimes you feel feminine, or sometimes you feel like a girl and sometimes you feel like a guy. But I just want to say, feeling masculine or feeling feminine is what makes you a guy or a girl. I'm not saying that I'm trying to invalidate gender fluid people, but I just want to say I don't want anyone to be confused. Just because you feel more masculine one day or more feminine another day doesn't mean that you have to change your gender or something, right? I don't know what actually defines gender fluid people, but I just want to say that it's okay to have a gender expression that differs from the gender role that you were assigned because of your sex or gender. But anyway, yeah, so I identified as that for a while. And then I was like, nah, this doesn't really suit me anymore because like I like some feminine things. Like I think dresses are like fun. Like they are pretty and like makeup is fun sometimes because you're like painting your face. um but I always go towards the masculine side of things. I feel more comfortable there, I guess. So then I identified as agender because I still didn't feel like I didn't feel like a guy and I didn't know what it meant to feel like a guy because everyone they were talking about like feeling like a guy or feeling like a girl and I was like, what? I don't feel like anything. Like I just feel like me. I just want to be me. Um I don't know what it feels like. I would like wake up every morning and be like, do I feel like a guy today? Like, yeah, but then later I talked to a guy he was a friend of mine and he was like, I don't wake up in the morning and think, oh yeah, I'm such a manly man. Like I just go on with my day. But I didn't understand that at the time. I thought like you felt like manly, I felt womanly, and when you felt feminine, that meant that you identified as a girl, and when you felt masculine, that meant you identified as a guy, which isn't true. But yeah, that's what I thought, and I was like, no, I don't feel anything. I just feel like me. So then I identified as agender, and then for a while I identified as I don't know what the heck. Like I didn't know what my gender was. I read about it and I heard about it and like I surround myself so much by like gendery stuff and like discussions about gender and what it was and how to identify it and all these like hundreds of labels and I was just like I don't know what I am and it was so confusing and it was honestly really painful. Sorry, because I felt like I needed to have a label to be valid. And I didn't yet feel comfortable with he him pronouns, so I still went by they pronouns. So I guess I was like genderqueer. Um, and then people started calling me he him more and more, and I was like in the beginning it felt really weird because I was like used to she and they now, right? But then after a while I just got used to it, and I was like, you know what? Like this is decent, you know? Like I don't mind. Like it's pretty cool. And then I identified as demi boy, which if you don't know what that is uh you identify partially as boy but not like fully. So I identified like kind of as a guy, also not completely because I felt like I couldn't relate to the other guys around me. And like I think I was focused I was way too focused on like gender roles because I was like, yeah, I resonate with some of the gender roles. But I don't always do, and I don't always feel masculine, so I'm like kind of a guy, but I'm also not really a guy because I don't really fit in as a guy, which is like silly because every guy is different. So just because you have interests that don't align with gender roles for men or whatever, like that doesn't mean that you're not a guy. Um, so yeah, and then I just identified as a guy, or like I just said, yeah, I'm a guy. Uh, yeah, I'm this guy. And that's what I say. But I want to just talk about like how I actually feel deep down. So when it comes to my gender, I publicly feel comfortable with like being seen as a guy and being referred to as he and pronouns, but not always. Like it still sometimes feel kind of weird. And when my parents call me the son and stuff like that, like I really appreciate it, but it still feels kind of weird because I lived, and I know this differs from every trans person, or for yeah, from person to person. Like some people feel so comfortable with it right away, uh, but I don't like. It's not that I'm uncomfortable, but it's just kind of weird. And sometimes I would honestly prefer them just calling me the kid. Uh, cause maybe it's just that I'm not used to them calling me the son, or maybe it's just the fact that I don't completely feel like the son. It's kind of weird. Um, but yeah, and so around my family, it feels kind of weird sometimes. Um, in public though, like I'm a guy. Like no questions asked. Like at school I feel kind of weird because I feel dysphoric because I constantly compare myself to the other guys and I'm like, "Oh no, they probably don't see me as a guy. Like they probably don't see me as like masculine enough to be a guy," which I don't think is the case because the guys in my class they're really cool and they're really nice to me and stuff. Um but I feel kind of weird. But not as in like I wouldn't want to be seen as a guy. I just feel insecure as a guy. But like if anyone called me like a girl, I would like maybe not have a panic attack, but like almost like or if anyone like refused to call me a guy and just called me a person. Like if anyone refers to me as they, I get offended, which I know is like stupid because that used to be my pronoun and that used to be what I went by and that used to be what I felt comfortable with when I was like questioning or whatever, like figuring stuff out. Now, if anyone calls me that, I feel like they are invalidating my gender as like a guy. I know it's stupid, but like I just like even when people are respectful, I'm just like, like I'm not today, I'm a he. Like yeah, but yeah, in social situations, I'm a guy. Okay, like call me a guy. Around my family, it's a bit different. Sometimes, no, I'm still a guy, but like well, I want to be just be seen as a person. Like I don't know. I want to be my parents' kid. Um, and it's nice being my brother's brother, but it's also just nice being his sibling. Like I don't only want to be seen as my gender. I just want to be seen as me, right? And I guess it's kind of like that in relationships as well. Uh, well, it depends because if I'm with a gay guy, I feel very insecure and I feel like I have to be very guy. If not, he's gonna like not like me anymore. And also with a bisexual person, because like if I'm not a guy, then I feel like they will see me as a girl or something like that. I know it's stupid, but I just with people I'm intimate with or close with, I don't want to be seen as like a guy. Oh, I do want to be seen as a guy like that, but I don't want to just be seen like strictly be seen as that. Like other than pronouns, honestly, sometimes I'm like, I'd rather have gender neutral stuff. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm not used to stuff. But I mean, I would want to be called someone's boyfriend, not like their date mate, but like something like that. Like I want to be a boyfriend. Is any of this making sense? I'm really not sure. Sure, sure if it is. But what I'm trying to say is like, I don't only want to be seen as a guy because I don't always feel completely comfortable with that because I don't always feel completely comfortable with defining myself by one label and also maybe because I'm not used to it but like that's how I feel right now um within myself I don't feel like a guy and I don't feel like a girl. I feel feminine and I feel masculine. um in my soul I'm both. And that may sound stupid. And some people, some trans people are like, yeah, in my soul, in my heart, deep down, I'm a male. Like I'm nothing but that. But I'm not like that. Like I feel comfortable being addressed as male because if I'm not, I feel really embarrassed and really I hate it. Like ugh, like it's horrible. Um, but like being seen as like being called like a girl or not a guy. Um, and when they go out of the way not to call me a guy, like I hate it. But sorry about the my voice is kind of breaking, I think. But deep in my soul, I see myself as both. Or I see myself as neither. Or I see myself as like everything. But I don't identify as non-binary. My friends are like, oh yeah, like Kovu, he's like a tiny bit non-binary, and I guess in technical terms, I am because I guess I don't completely identify with like a certain label for a gender. But what even is gender? Like are is gender roles? Is it masculinity and femininity? Because everyone's both. Like everyone's masculine and everyone's feminine to a certain degree. I think it's about like how you want to be seen in society, or maybe it's something else than that. Like maybe it's really like deep rooted, like whether you feel like you gotta feel like you go, and I just feel like neither. Um, but like I know this is also very different from people, person to person, like trans person to trans person, and some people to them it makes them very dysphoric. But like I lived as a girl for 13 years, and like that's still a part of me. Sometimes it's hard to accept that, but I've come a long way, and I've accepted. Well, I'm trying to accept that. I lived 13 years ago, and that's part of me, and that's always going to be part of me, and I don't mind that. Well, kind of, but not really. Like I don't want to mind it, and now I live in society as a boy, and that's also part of me. Uh, so I'm both masculine and feminine. I'm just me, so I guess I'm neither. Like this is deep down, like deep down. I mean, obviously, I'm still a guy, and I want to be seen as a guy, but like within me, I don't really see myself as either or. I just live my life, and I just see myself as me, and I don't want to be tied to anything, and I don't feel like I'm tied to anything. And that was honestly one of my fears, or that is one of my fears, that like everyone in line expects me to be the super masculine guy, because I'm not. Like, have you seen me? Like, I'm really not. I said that kind of loud. Anyway, I identify as like a kind of small, kind of gay, like bi, yeah, not too sexual, kind of little, like nerdy, weird, awkward guy, and I'm starting to be fine with that. Like, I don't know if I want to be anything else. Like, it would be cool to be like super like like beauty industry, like sexy god, a Greek god. But nah, I want to be fine with me, and that's how I see myself. And that's what I want to be, and that's what I want to be seen as. But like, still deep within myself, like I don't really. I'm just me, and I think every person should think like that. Or maybe I'm like actually a gender disguised as a guy. Or maybe I'm a demi guy, which I probably am. When it comes to like technical terms and how I choose to identify. But still, everyone's a bit feminine, everyone's a bit masculine. I don't identify as non-binary. I want to be seen as a guy. If anyone calls me, like, if anyone says, yeah, you neither a guy or a girl, I would get offended, because I'm like, no, I'm a guy. Uh, but like, first and foremost, I am human, and I'm a person, and I'm just me, and that's how I see myself. And maybe one day in the future, I will like not agree with what I said in this video, and I will be like, no, deep in my soul, I feel like I'm a guy, and I'm nothing but a guy. I don't, you know, see myself as neither a guy or a girl. I see myself as a guy. Well, I'm not saying that I don't see myself as neither a guy or a girl, because I'm a guy. I see myself as a guy, but I don't know how to explain this. But like, maybe in the future I'll be like, no, I'm not just like a person. I'm not just like a human. I'm a man person and a man human. I don't know. That's what I'll figure out eventually as I grow up. So maybe my views on gender will completely change. Maybe I'll think that everything I said in this video is like bull. Um, or maybe I'll still feel like that. Yeah, okay, that's all. If you listen to this whole thing, then applause for you. And here, have a biscuit, which I don't have right now, but just pretend and grab it through the screen and take it and be like, num num, that's a good biscuit, Kovu. Did you make that? And I'll be like, no, I actually didn't. I bought it. So, not saying that I can't bake. I'm not saying I am very good at baking, but I'm adequate sometimes. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to go now. Thanks so much for watching. Please leave your thoughts on this and on your gender and gender in general in the comments, or leave how sick you are of everyone talking about gender. Can everyone just like shut the F up about the gender discussion? Just live your life. You're a human. Just tell me what pronouns and name you want to be called by, and I'll call you that. Like, how do you feel about it? Or do you feel like it's important that we keep discussing it? Never stop discussing it. Keep talking about it. Keep going in depth. The deepest of dark gender stuff. Not necessarily dark. Like, keep labeling things. 300, 400, 500 labels for gender and infinite amounts of genders. I want to hear your opinion. Um, yeah. Okay, that's all. I hope you have a great day. Stay safe and hydrated and fed. Full of the best foods ever, if you can find them. Which you probably can't because you haven't tasted my homemade biscuits yet. No, that was a joke. Okay. I'm gonna go now for real. Take care. Goodbye. See you soon.